Hi guys, and welcome back to the channel. So for those of you who just came from watching my last video, you're welcome. That would be the video where I teach you how to hydrate and moisturize your skin and what to do afterwards. So if you need to know about that, then go ahead and watch my previous video and then you could come back for this one, okay? And in this video I'm going to be showing you how to keep your hair hydrated and prevent breakage during the dry season. So all my natural hair girlies and guys running here, all my relaxed hair girlies and guys running here, anybody that has hair running here, because this video is for you. One of the main things you want to avoid during the dry season is breakage and dryness. Of course, it's the dry season, and not just the dry season, winter. So just like my last video, I'm going to be telling you how to protect your hair in cold weather, because the cold weather naturally pulls out the moisture from your hair, pulls out the moisture from your skin, and that's why I'm making these videos, so that you don't wake up at the end of the year or in the beginning of next year and you're crying, what happened to all my hair? Because what happens is we take care of our hair throughout the year and we think we have it down to a science, and then we get to the end of the year and we've seen improvements. We can see the hair length, we can see the hair growth, and by the time we're ending the year and stepping into the new year, we're wondering what happened. And why is that? Because winter and Harmattan and dry season come at the end of the year. So that cold weather had the ability to undo all the hard work you've done, and that is why this video is all the more important for you. The first important thing I'll tell you to avoid doing during the dry season is washing your hair too often. On a normal day, I wouldn't even advise you to keep washing your hair every week. The best I would say you should do probably every 2 weeks, because your hair and your scalp does not need that amount of irritation and rattling in frequent succession. So that would be on a normal day, but in the dry season even more so, because do you know what happens? Your hair grows from pores on the skin underneath your hair, and that is your scalp. The oils and the lubrication that you have under there needs to be preserved during the dry season. So anything that will make you to keep washing your hair is not going to be really good for your hair in this dry season. So avoid doing that too often. Following my last point, you need to avoid hot water. Hot water is going to be really harsh on your hair during the dry season. But if you can't use cold water, make sure that you're using at least lukewarm water to wash your hair. Whenever you have to wash your hair, make sure that after you do that, you're coating it with very healthy oils and creams that have humectants in them. Humectants, like I said in my last video, are ingredients that draw in moisture from the atmosphere. So contrary to what the weather will be doing, which is pulling out the moisture from your hair, the humectant is instead going to draw back that water into your hair and keep your hair hydrated throughout the dry season. So what are these humectants you want to look for? You want to look for honey, you want to look for butters, things like avocado oil, shea butter, you want to look for jojoba oil, and these things are going to help keep your hair hydrated throughout the dry season. Look for these ingredients in both your shampoos, in your conditioners, and also use them for steaming. And that brings me to my next point. The third tip that I'm going to give you is to condition your hair. Now naturally you would say we do that already when we wash our hair. Of course, the next thing we're going to do is condition, but this is not the condition I'm talking about. I'm talking about leave-in conditioners, especially for those who have relaxed hair during the night. Even for those with natural hair, make sure that you rub conditioner on the ends of your hair, because what conditioner does is to make that the tips of your hair malleable, and when your hair is malleable that way, it's difficult for it to break. Okay, so when you condition your hair, you're protecting it from easy breakage and helping those ends to stay longer. And when your ends stay longer, guess what? You have longer hair. That's what hair growth. So yeah, make sure that you're conditioning your hair at least every 2 nights, and this is going to help keep your hair in a soft and lubricated state in the dry and winter seasons. The third thing that I'm going to tell you to do, of course, protective hairstyles. You want to keep the ends of your hair hidden, especially for people with natural hair. Now, I'm going to tell you the science behind this. For those who have natural hair, your hair stands upward. Natural black hair defies gravity, so it stands all up in the air, and so most of your ends, if not all of your ends, are exposed to the atmosphere and they could easily break off. Unlike those who have relaxed hair and you have everything just falling down, and you could just do something to the ends all together and keep them together. If you have natural hair, then you need to even be more careful in the dry season concerning hair breakage. So put your hair in protective hairstyles like cornrows, updos that lock in the ends of your hair and prevent your hair from coming in contact with the cold weather. And for those of you who have relaxed hair as well, you could do something like what I've just done. You could tuck your hair in, keep ends of your hair from coming in contact with the cold weather. Another part of your hair that you need to protect, aside the whole hair of course, but another part you need to be very specific about is the edges of your hair, because this part of your hair is really fragile and they could easily break off. So where do you see alopecia starting most of the time in our hair? Is on the edges. So you keep seeing that receding line going backward all the time, and one of the main things that affects your edges is also dryness. So one way you could protect your edges from dryness is by putting lubricants on the edges of your hair. Gels could really help your hair, and it's ironic because naturally I didn't like gels, but gels, because of their texture and their nature and the fact that they keep your hair together, I'm not talking of harsh gels now, simple natural hair gels, they help keep your hair together, so they are not moving about and they're not experiencing as much friction as they would be when they are loose. So whenever you wash up the gels, your hair is preserved, right? And then another thing you could do is to use pomades. So things like Dax hair cream, those things could really help keep the moisture in the roots of your hair and the edges as well as the ends of your hair. So you could include that in your hair regimen during the dry season to help keep your hair healthy and help it combat the dry weather. The next thing that I'm going to be telling you is to use hair scarves. Of course, what better way to protect your hair? If we're talking about the weather, we're talking about the elements which we have no control over. After you've done all these things, you've washed your hair, you've steamed your hair, you've used all the humectants, the honey and butters that you know, one way to keep that locked in is to use head scarves. And if you're in the winter, you could use your beanies or your head warmers, and that would naturally just keep your hair safe from the weather. But for those in Nigeria and you're experiencing the dry season, head scarves are a go-to. It could both protect your hair and keep you looking stylish. So if you're concerned about, I'm going to be looking like one mama or whatnot, I'm going to refer you to a short where you could see all the different ways that you could tie your scarf and look pretty and nice during the Harmattan and dry season. So don't go out leaving your hair out all the time. I'm not saying you should tie your hair 247. I'm just saying as much as you can, cover your hair, because that is one of the best ways that you could prevent moisture from leaving your hair and prevent hair breakage. Okay, the next tip that I'm going to give you is to avoid relaxing or dyeing your hair during the dry season, because you know what, when those chemicals are just fresh on your hair, the effect is much worse than when you've put them in for a while. One of the points that I would also like you to note is what you sleep on. So whether you have natural hair or you have relaxed hair, especially in the dry season, please my darlings, do not sleep on cotton pillowcases. Make sure to use a silk pillowcase or tie your hair with a silk scarf, or put it in a silk bonnet to protect your hair from friction and losing the oils that you've struggled to get into that hair. Why silk? Silk does not pull on the hair strands of your hair. It doesn't pull on the edges of your hair, and aside keeping your hair looking neat and put together in the morning, it also does not break your hair because it doesn't react so much. It doesn't fight with your hair strands. So make sure that you're sleeping on something silky and nice. These are the tips that I would say would really help your hair to thrive in the dry season. And don't forget, drink a lot of water. Drink water and also exercise. Yes, exercise will both keep your body healthy, help you to that sweat and that stimulation on your scalp will also help your hair to thrive very well during the dry season, because you're going to be releasing oils and urea and things that really help the scalp and help your hair pores to produce healthy hair strands. So make sure that you exercise as well. It will go a long way in keeping your hair healthy during the dry season. I did that a lot and I saw a lot of great results concerning my hair, so you should do that as well. And that will be it for this video. If you have any other tips on how to keep your hair hydrated, keep hair hydrated during the dry season, make sure to leave it in the comments below. If you have any comments as well on this video, leave them down there and I would be excited to respond to them. And I'm happy that you watched this video up until this point. Make sure to hit the subscribe button, like this video, and hit the notification bells to know when I upload new videos. And I'll see you in my next one. Rita signing out. Peace.